scorpions. Just hearing the name makes many people look at the ground to see if there's one hiding nearby. And look, it's not paranoia. These little creatures have existed for over 400 million years and are true survival machines. Not all are the same. Some have weak venom that causes only a slight pain. Others are true biological weapons of nature. Today you will learn about 10 of the most lethal scorpions on the planet, where they live, and what their venom can do inside your body. And a warning, some of these creatures can tear apart an adult in a matter of minutes. So prepare your courage, because our journey through the world of the most dangerous scorpions begins now. Now hold on to your hats. This is the famous Deathstalker, which roughly translates to Death Pursuer. And look, the name isn't an exaggeration. This scorpion lives in the hot regions of North Africa and the Middle East, in countries like Egypt, Israel, and Saudi Arabia. It prefers deserts and dry areas where it can easily hide under rocks or in the sand. And despite not being very large, its venom is incredibly potent. The sting causes immediate and extremely intense pain, as if an electric shock were passing through your body. But the real problem comes later. Its venom directly attacks the nervous system, potentially causing high fever, seizures, muscle paralysis. In children and the elderly, the risk can be even greater because the body cannot react as quickly to the toxin attack. But look how curious. Even being so dangerous, this scorpion's venom is also being studied by science. Some compounds present in it are being researched to help treat brain tumors. In other words, the same poison that can kill can also help save lives. But one thing is certain, if you encounter one of these in the desert, the best strategy is to keep your distance. Because nobody wants to test this nickname of Deathstalker in practice. Indian red scorpion. Now let's talk about a small scorpion, but one that carries a terrifying reputation. This is the Indian red scorpion, found mainly in India, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. And despite being only a few centimeters long, it is considered one of the scorpions that causes the most deaths in the world. Its venom is extremely aggressive to the human body. When stung, the nervous system goes into a state of panic. The heart begins to beat uncontrollably, blood pressure rises dangerously, and the lungs can begin to accumulate fluid, a problem known as pulmonary edema. In practice, this means that the person may begin to have difficulty breathing within minutes. And that is exactly why this scorpion is so feared in various regions of India, especially in rural areas where access to a hospital can be slow. The message here is simple and direct. If this little ruby of nature stings you, the hospital needs to be an absolute priority. Because with this scorpion, every minute counts. Brazilian yellow scorpion. Now let's talk about a scorpion that many people in Brazil have heard of, and rightly so. This is the yellow scorpion, considered the most dangerous in Brazil. It lives mainly in the southeast and midwest regions, but in recent years it has appeared in several cities across the country. And here comes one of the most bizarre things about this creature. The female doesn't need a male to reproduce. That's right, she simply generates offspring that are genetic copies of herself. It's like a small cloning factory walking around the city. That's why you often see news reports saying that several scorpions have been found in the same place. When one appears, there may be many others hiding nearby. Its venom is a powerful neurotoxin that directly attacks the nervous system. The sting causes extremely intense pain, vomiting, excessive sweating, increased heart rate. In children, the venom can cause serious cardiac complications. And the scariest thing is that this scorpion has adapted very well to cities. It loves to hide in debris, drains, shoes, and piles of wood. And there's an important detail. Its favorite food is cockroaches. In other words, where there are cockroaches, there may be scorpions nearby. Therefore, keeping the house clean and free of insects is one of the best forms of prevention. Arizona bark scorpion. Now let's talk about the most venomous scorpion in North America. This is the Arizona bark scorpion, found mainly in the deserts of Arizona, New Mexico, and parts of Mexico. And, unlike most scorpions, this one possesses a curious ability. It's a true climber. While many scorpions remain on the ground, this one climbs walls, trees, and even rooftops. This means it can appear in very unexpected places. Despite its small size, its venom is very potent. The sting can cause intense pain, numbness, muscle spasms, difficulty breathing. In some more severe cases, seizures and respiratory problems can also occur. The good news is that deaths are rare nowadays thanks to rapid access to medical treatment. Even so, nobody wants to experience firsthand what the sting of this little desert climber is like. Arabian Fat-Tailed Scorpion. Now check out this name, Arabian Fat-Tailed Scorpion. This scorpion lives in the arid regions of the Middle East and North Africa, and its name already reveals a very striking characteristic. Its tail is thick, strong, and full of venom. It is precisely there that the stinger is located, responsible for releasing one of the most dangerous toxins among desert scorpions. This creature also has a reputation for being very aggressive when it feels threatened. The sting causes extremely intense pain, followed by symptoms such as muscle paralysis, tremors, difficulty breathing. In severe cases, respiratory collapse can even occur. In other words, it's definitely not the type of scorpion you want to encounter in the middle of the desert. Black thick-tailed scorpion. Now imagine an even darker version of this thick-tailed scorpion. That's the black thick-tailed scorpion found mainly in the Middle East. It has a dark, robust body that resembles a small living armor. But what really draws attention is its venom. It contains an extremely potent neurotoxin, capable of directly interfering with the functioning of the nervous system. After a sting, symptoms may include intense tremors, convulsions, severe respiratory problems. And the most frightening thing is that the effects can appear very quickly, especially in people more sensitive to the venom. Therefore, in regions where this scorpion lives, it is essential to be careful when handling stones or debris, a relative of the death scorpion. Now let's learn about a close relative of the famous death scorpion. This scorpion lives mainly in regions of Turkey and Syria and has very similar characteristics to its more famous relative. Although not as well known, it also possesses a very potent venom. The sting can cause intense pain, heart problems, muscle paralysis. Like other dangerous scorpions in the region, the greatest risk lies in the speed at which the venom acts on the body. Therefore, in areas where it exists, any scorpion sting should be treated as a medical emergency. South African thick-tailed scorpion. Now let's go to southern Africa to meet a scorpion with a very unusual defense. This is the South African thick-tailed scorpion, found mainly in desert areas of South Africa. And it possesses an ability that few scorpions have. Instead of just stinging, it can expel venom to defend itself. That's right, it can expel small droplets of venom towards the aggressor, mainly into the eyes. If it hits the eyes, the venom can cause intense pain and severe irritation. But if a sting occurs, symptoms may include extreme pain, temporary paralysis, difficulty breathing. In other words, it's a scorpion that definitely deserves respect. Chinese golden scorpion. Now let's go to Asia to learn about the Chinese golden scorpion. This scorpion lives in regions of China and Mongolia and has a yellowish coloration reminiscent of gold. But the most curious thing about it is that its venom is not only known for its danger. It is also extensively studied by medicine. Researchers analyze compounds in the venom for possible treatments against neurological diseases and inflammations. Even so, the sting can still cause symptoms such as intense pain, muscle spasms, inflammation at the site. In other words, even with scientific interest, it is still an animal that deserves considerable care. Emperor Scorpion. And to close our list, let's meet a true giant of the scorpion world. This is the Emperor Scorpion, one of the largest scorpions on the planet. It lives mainly in the tropical forests of Africa, where it usually hides under logs, rocks, or in the middle of damp vegetation. And look, its size alone commands respect. This scorpion can reach 20 centimeters in length, with a robust body and enormous pincers that look like they came straight out of a fantasy movie. But here's a surprise. Despite its frightening appearance, the venom of the Emperor Scorpion is not as dangerous as that of other scorpions on the list. In most cases, the sting only causes moderate pain, slight swelling, sensation similar to a bee sting. Even so, this does not mean it is harmless. Like any wild animal, it can defend itself if it feels threatened, and nobody wants to experience firsthand what it's like to be stung by a scorpion that size. But the emperor scorpion also has an impressive quirk. Under ultraviolet light, its body glows with an almost neon blue-green hue. It's such a strange effect that it seems like something out of science fiction. Scientists use this glow to locate scorpions in nature during research. In other words, even a giant like this still holds many mysteries of nature. As you've seen, scorpions can vary greatly from species to species. Some are practically harmless, while others possess venom capable of causing severe reactions in just a few minutes. The best defense against these animals remains prevention. Avoiding clutter, keeping the house clean, controlling cockroaches, and always checking clothes, towels, and shoes before using them are simple actions that can prevent many accidents. But be careful. If a sting occurs, do not try to treat it with home remedies or wait for the pain to pass on its own. The correct thing to do is seek medical attention immediately, especially if the person stung is a child or an elderly person. Antivenom is the only truly effective treatment to neutralize the venom in severe cases. The faster you get to the hospital, the greater the chances of avoiding complications. Now tell us, if you enjoyed this content about the most dangerous venoms, subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the most incredible and dangerous creatures in nature. Leave a comment below. Have you ever been stung by one of these scorpions, or are you afraid of them? Until the next exploration.